Some of my favorite memories as a child were the times I spent with my red Game Boy Pocket, my gateway into portable gaming. I spent so much time with that device, and I really wish I hadn't misplaced it over the years. Other handheld devices came and went out of my life, the next one being better than the last. The Game Boy Advance to the Game Boy Advance SP, the SP to the DS to the DS Lite, and the bigger and better iterations from then on, all the way up to the Nintendo Switch. The Switch really is an awesome device, but mine tends to sit and collect dust these days. The last game I played was Ring Fit Adventure, and I stuck with that for about 2 weeks until I got bored. Nothing has kept my attention for a long enough period of time for me to care, and as much as I enjoy Nintendo titles, I'm mainly a PC gamer. When Valve announced the Steam Deck back in July of 2021, I was excited to hear that I could potentially take my Steam library and almost all of my PC games on the go or on the couch in a handheld form factor. The desire to relive my childhood and the excitement I felt sitting down with my favorite handheld was strong. But could the Steam Deck live up to what I had envisioned for it in my head? To sum it up, I think so. And here's why. Before we get into it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe and like buttons to see more of my content in the future. It would really help me a lot to reach my goals for the end of this year. Now, as a PC gamer, and over the last several years, I've tried my hardest to pack as much performance into the smallest chassis I can get my hands on. It all started with the Dan case that I bought a few years ago, and now my current PC case, the Cooler Master NR200P. I'm kind of obsessed with small form factor PCs and their portability, even though I don't really travel that much anymore. My goal with these small PCs has always been to be able to stuff it into a reasonably small case or a backpack so that I can fly all the way across the country from where I live in Michigan to Oregon so that I can visit my friends in Portland and attend PDX LAN, one of the country's biggest PC LAN events. Doing this all while not using a laptop, because even though I have a decent laptop, it's really not that cool, and there's so many cool PCs there, I would feel really lame. Enter the Steam Deck, or rather, the Steam Deck's potential. Yes, it's running Linux, and yes, it's not perfect at the moment due to certain games and their anti-cheats not being compatible with SteamOS. But just think about how cool it would be if I could take a short plane trip. On that plane trip, I played games on my handheld Steam Deck, got to my destination, pulled out my dock, and hooked it up to a monitor that my friends let me borrow, and bam, a fully functioning Steam gaming machine that fit in the case that the Steam Deck comes with. All of that would fit in my backpack, and all I would need is a keyboard and mouse to get me going. How freaking cool would that be? Now, I realize we aren't totally there yet, and I would be limited to just Steam games. No Battle.net for Call of Duty or Overwatch 2, no Epic Game Store for things like Fortnite or any of the free games I've collected from them over the years. But that's it. Steam has so many games available to play, and even the ones they say aren't working on the Steam Deck, they totally are. Take Fallout 76, for example. It says right here that it's not currently supported on the deck, but when I downloaded it and launched it, it works perfectly fine. Or so I can tell. I played it briefly to prove this point without having any issues. This is a great example of what we have in the Steam Deck. Its potential is unrivaled by similar devices, especially at the price point. I opted for the highest spec model because I was really interested in not having to add any more storage if I didn't need to, and I really wanted the anti-glare etched screen. I can easily say that I love the screen's coating, and I'm glad I went with this model, even though it's a whopping $650 at the time of filming. Speaking of the screen, I don't have a Nintendo Switch OLED to compare it to, but I'm totally fine with this IPS LCD display. Colors aren't super vibrant, but I didn't buy the device for the screen. Moving on to build quality. This version of the deck that I have was purchased from Steam in the month of September of 2022, so I can't say anything about older models, but this device feels really good in the hand. The plastics and material they use with this device all feel great. The texture of the plastic used for the shell feels good, and everything from the buttons to the joysticks feel fantastic. I have zero complaints about the build quality of this device, but only time can tell about its durability. I was skeptical about the placement of the D-pad, joysticks, and buttons, but I can safely say that this device is very comfortable to hold for hours. Oh, and I guess I should mention the trackpads on both ends of the device. I don't use them much, but sometimes they make it easy to simulate a mouse for certain tasks. But I haven't had to do that much since most titles I've tested have just worked with the other input methods on the device. And I haven't really used the buttons on the back either, but I could really see them coming in handy for games that either require a lot of buttons or inputs and first-person shooters, much like a SCUF or Pro controllers that have a similar layout. I wouldn't play anything competitive on this device since it's more suited for a more casual gaming experience, but I thought I would mention it. The The only negative thing I can say about this device is that it's a bit heavy for me. I noticed while laying on my back and holding the device up for extended periods of time, my arms would tingle and try to fall asleep on me, but that might be a me issue. I see the heft of the deck as being sort of a trade-off. What other device can you play Horizon Zero Dawn on that you can take literally anywhere? I don't have any experience with the Neo devices, but those run full Windows 11 operating systems and have, at least from what I've seen online, their own issues. So they aren't perfect either. So at this point, you can maybe get an idea of how I feel about this device. It's so close to being the perfect handheld device that I can take anywhere and do anything with. The drawbacks really shouldn't be a huge issue, but really, I like Call of Duty, and at the time of making this video without installing Windows on here, I can't really play any of those games. I wouldn't really want to play them with a controller anyway, but the option would be nice. My library of 2D and indie games on Steam is vast. And when I bought the Steam Deck, my sole intention was to start catching up on titles that I've bought and forgotten about over time. Tons of great games that I've bought and played for a few hours, or games that were just on sale that I never played. That's the beauty of Steam though. So many inexpensive or so many games go on sale so frequently, it's hard to pass up the idea. Even with the most expensive models of the Steam Deck, you'd make that money up in no time, versus if you bought the Nintendo Switch, a device with a notorious Nintendo tax, where most games are just always more expensive on the eShop. Not to mention that you can also just play those games on your PC as well. I can even see this device being awesome for people that are Mac users. Gaming on Macs is still not that great, but the Steam Deck could give you access to even more games. And you can unplug your MacBook from its dock, plug the Steam Deck in using the same USB-C cable, and voila! Your Mac productivity station is now your gaming setup. This is the part of the video where I was supposed to be talking about one of the downsides of the Steam Deck. But actually, while writing the notes for this video, I actually learned that you can add Discord to the deck without much trouble at all. You simply switch over to the desktop environment, download Discord, open Steam, add Discord as a non-Steam game, switch back to the gaming interface, change the control scheme to browser, open Discord, and you now have all of the functionality of Discord in the palm of your hands. Using the touchpads to navigate it is super simple and intuitive. On top of that, as of today, October 6th, 2022, you can now order a Steam Deck without a reservation, and you can order the official dock for $89. You have no idea how fast I moved when I saw that I could order this thing. I considered third-party docks, but the official one made it to market just in time for me to buy one. And not even to mention the updates that came in the latest stable update of SteamOS, adding a whole slew of features, making the deck even better. I'll have the most recent announcement video linked below, as well as a link to the patch notes for the latest stable OS release. You can see now why I'm excited about the Steam Deck. It has so much potential, and it's being improved upon at a rapid pace. I wouldn't recommend a device purely based on promises, but this is Valve and Steam we're talking about here. They have the resources to make this handheld device the gaming machine of your dreams. The Steam boxes of old walked so that this thing could run, and it runs well. So what do you think about the Steam Deck? Now that it's available for purchase without any of the wait times, are you going to pick one up? What excites you the most about Steam Deck? Leave your comments below. Follow me on Twitter at FunkyHQ. I stream gaming content on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/FunkyHQ. Lately, I've been getting into Escape from Tarkov with my buddy Ubersmock every Thursday night, and you can catch me most weekdays playing Warzone with my other really good friend, Max Slayer. You should come check us out sometime. And don't forget that the most important thing that you can do for this channel is to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get a notification anytime I post a new video. And share this with a friend, maybe a friend that was thinking about getting a Steam Deck and now can actually buy one. Maybe I can convince them. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good week. Oh, I almost forgot. I co-host a podcast with my partner Ophelia, or as she's known in some circles, Meat Mommy. The podcast is called CATAN We Talk About Content Creation. It's a podcast where we sit and talk with other content creators about their content creation journey, and I get to play Catan. Catan. Anyway, see you later. Catan? Catan. Catan? Catan. Is it Catan?